The session is going to be.
Yes. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in on a very beautiful Saturday evening. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, and let's make this time useful for learning some new technology and new product of UiPath, which is document understanding. Now, with us today in UiPath Pune Community Chapter, we have Pradeep as a mentor here, as a speaker to guide us throughout document understanding part. Pradeep is currently working in Wonderbots as a senior consultant, and Pradeep has worked on document understanding projects a lot. And personally, I know Pradeep, he has been really good in those products. So thank you so much, Pradeep, for taking time for us. And I hand it over to you. Please take us to the document understanding part.
Yeah, thank you, Nisar. Thanks for joining this session on weekends. So about me, so everyone knows about me. I am Pradeep. So I have 5+ years of experience in RPA UiPath. So I have done a couple of projects related to the latest feature, document understanding, action center, AI center, and something related to the process mining related stuff. So I'm pretty much good with doing the end-to-end projects. So this is about my technical skills, and I'm working in Wonderbots as a senior consultant. Yeah. So today we are going to discuss about the document understanding. So first of all, I want to know what is document understanding. Like, anyone have any idea about it, and why we need to use document understanding, and what are the key features do we have? Why we need to choose document understanding for reading the invoices or PDF or image files? So any idea about it? Like, why we need to go with document understanding?
Yes.
Anyone can type text.
You guys can also unmute yourself. Yes, Atisha.
Yeah. So document understanding. So in financial system, as per my understanding, in the financial system, we have a different payroll or ERP system. So if we wanted to, so lots of clients are using the document invoicing, and in so many document they are wanted to fetch the data from that, and they have to enter into the one of the ERP system or CRM system. So we have to fetch the data from the system and enter into the other system. So for fetching the data into from the document, that's why we are unstructured, structure, or lots of bank are using this kind of technology, as per my understanding.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Akshay says to extract data from different templates. Avjit says to read structured, unstructured, semi-structured text from different types of files. Pradeep. Pradeep, you there? Oh, I think he might have faced some issue. Let's wait for Pradeep to join back in. He might have dropped off. Zoom sometimes acts a little bit weird. In the meantime, let's take input from everyone. So Amit says, enables bots to intelligently extract, interpret, process data from different documents. What else?
So I think it's basically through document understanding, we can extract and interpret information from a wide range of document, right? So as someone said, like we have basically we have 3 types of categories in the document. Like we have a structured data, we have a semi-structured data, and we have an unstructured data, right? So through the document understanding concept, basically we can extract the data from these type of categories of data.
Exactly. That is correct. So document understanding can be used at many places. Okay. Now, while Pradeep is joining in, I will quickly talk a little bit about it. So I'll get some time for Pradeep to join in. Give it just a second. I'll quickly call him. Pradeep got dropped off because of the power cut. No problem. Yeah. So in the meantime, see, document understanding depends on various factors. I mean, when I say various factors, there are so many things which actually matters when you want to extract data from documents, right? Now, in those things, there are a couple of things like what is the document type, how the layout of the document is. Is it handwritten document? Are there any check boxes? Is this document scanned? Is this document a photograph? Or is this document an invoice? Is it in a PDF format? Is it in Word format? What exact format the document is in? So there are so many factors that actually matters a lot while we work on this. I think Pradeep is back. He's joining in.
Hey, sorry team, that power connection got happened here.
No problem.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm going through the document understanding. So document understanding is used to read the data from the PDF or image based file. So this is the high level of document understanding. So we know, like in every industry, so we have couple of invoices, or we have couple of receipts, or if you want to read any bill from the invoice, so we have to read the data using, if you are going to do it using manual work, so it will take so much of time, right? So if you want to enter the data from PDF to any ERP machine, we know it will take so much of time, and sometimes we may read some kind of mismatch of data. But using document understanding, we can able to read the data accuracy, and we can read the data exact format which we are looking for. So this is about document understanding. So here in this slide, you can able to see what is document understanding. So using robotic process automation means we are going to do the repetitive process. So that is robotic process automation. And document processing, so we are going to read multiple documents and using artificial intelligence, AI. So the combination of these three things will come under the document understanding. So this is the high level of picture, what is document understanding means. So here you can able to read related to it. Document understanding is the ability to extract and interpret information and meaning from a wide range of documents. It emerges at the intersection of document processing, AI, and RPM. So it's a combination of both. We can read the data using AI and using the RPM. So it's a combination of both. We can use both and we can read the data. So this is a high level of document understanding. So we'll move to the next slide. So basically, if you are going to do manual work, if you are going to read the documents manually, so what are the challenges you may face? So here I have mentioned it a couple of challenges. So before that, I want to ask, like, anyone knows about the challenges? Like, what kind of challenges you may face? So let me stop my share, and I can see it in the chart. Like, if you are reading the invoices manually, so what are the challenges you may face when you are doing it manually? So just think you have Flipkart invoices with you, like 10 to 15 Flipkart invoices you have. So you want to enter that data into the one of the application, or you want to keep the data into the Excel file. So what are the challenges you may face? So if you have a task to do it, so if you are doing it through manual work, so what are the challenges you may face? Formats of the invoices vary with every vendor. Yes. Human error and resource cost. Human error means sometimes we may enter, instead of 100 we may enter 1000 or something related to it. Resource cost, like if you have 100 means you will enter. In the future, if you are getting 1000, so it will take so much of time. So we have to resource one candidate. So that's a kind of resource cost. Yes, of course, time taking and time consume and image invoices. Yeah, of course, these all are the questions. These all are the answers are correct. So let me share my screen again. So here you can able to see the major challenges. First one is manually extract, encrypt, act upon. So this is the one, and variety of document types and quality. So we may get different kinds of documents and different kind of quality of that images. Like sometimes we may get scanned one, sometimes we may get native one. So we may get different one, and cost and time consuming. So we know, like if you are dealing with the thousands of PDF, then we need to require a couple of candidates to do it. Like at the time we have to pay the amount to them, then it's a kind of time consuming again. And human error, rework and losses. So this will come under the mistakes what human will do. And lack of end-to-end complex solutions. Like if it is simple means we can do it. So if it is complex, like if you have 100, one document contains 100 pages. So then if you want to read it, then it is of course a kind of challenge for the human. So these kind of challenges, we can achieve it using document understanding. So let me go through the next slide. So see here. So delegation to robots using AI to understand the document. So which kind of data do you want to extract it? So the extraction piece, we can do it using AI to understand the document. So based on the AI, we can able to identify, then we can able to read it. So variety of document types and quality. So if you are getting different kinds of documents and different kinds of different quality types of documents, we know, right? We can loop each document using human in the loop. Like human in the loop means the validation part. So if the confidence is less, like if the quality of that particular PDF is less, then what we have to do? We need to keep human in loop. What he will do just a validation of that particular invoice, and he will do the submit. So it's a kind of, it's called as a human in loop. In the further, I'll show everything about how the human in loop will work. And cost and time efficiency, we know. So our robot will work every time, like 24/7, we can work on it. So of course, we are saving the cost and we are saving the time. Related to the human error, rework and losses. So we know human may do mistakes, but computers won't do any mistake, right? So it's of course 100% accurate and fast document processing. So if you are 1,000 or if you are 10,000, we can run these particular documents with the multiple bots and we can process it. So this is one of the major solution for it. And one more thing is lack of end-to-end complex solutions. So here end-to-end solutions means we have discussed about only one step, like reading the data from invoices and keeping the data into the Excel file. So end-to-end process means when you are reading the data, we have to enter that data into any of the Excel file, and then we have to push that data into any of the application. Then we have to send the confirmation mail, like acknowledgements to the customer, saying that this is the data we have extracted and this is the data we have validated, and the validated data is correct when we are comparing to the original file. Then which all are the data we got extracted, we are pushing the data to the ERP application, and this is the acknowledgement we have received it. So this is called as an end-to-end process. There is nothing to do it as a manual work. Everything is done by the human, everything is done by the robot with the human interaction. Like if the confidence level is low, at that time we have to go with the human interaction. If the confidence level is high, that's super fine. Then we can directly enter that data into the ERP machine and we can push that data to the ERP machine. Then we can send an acknowledgement to the customer. Yeah. Any questions related to it? Like what kind of challenges and what kind of solution we can implement it using document understanding? Any questions or everything is clear? So if everything is clear,
I have one question. Myself, Mahashankari.
yes.
So my question is, if the document is not I have different formats of data.
Yes.
Okay. So one PDF file contains multiple tables of data, but the tables are splitted into multiple pages, but not in the row wise. It's splitted in the column wise. So in that case, how can the bot identify if I using AI Center and document understanding? So how can that bot identify this columns comes to related to first table?
Yes. So it's a kind of great question, I can say. The thing is here, so which all are the things you said, these all will come under the business rules, right? So
Yes.
basically, so how document understanding will work, it will extract the data and it has some default models for it. But as per your question, it is entirely based on your business rule, like it is defined based on your project, right? So these columns we need to differentiate based on the columns, means we need to prepare the model which we can read the data based on the column level. So we won't get any default model to read it. So what we have to do, we need to prepare the model based on that. So basically we have multiple models like multiple extractors, I can say, like farm extractor, regex extractor, or ML extractor. So these farm extractor, regex extractor will work for the structured data. So as per you said, the columns data is structured one. Like every time we will get the particular columns, but we don't know how many columns we may get. So if you are able to, yes, please.
Yeah, you are correct.
Yeah. So at that time, just check with the farm extractor or regex extractor, because you know the limitation of that particular invoices. If it is not, then we need to create a model for it. So I'll tell you like what are the models we have available in document understanding in the next slides.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And Pradeep, one more question.
Yes.
So if it is multiple table, how can you extract the table using document understanding? How can you merge it into single to get a single table data?
Yeah.
And we have to write it on the Excel file.
Yeah. So for that, what we have to do? So before going to extract the data, we have the first step is called as a taxonomy, right?
Yes.
So taxonomy is a kind of a template, which are the values you are going to read it. So what you have to do, you have to create the variables in the format of table.
Okay.
So for that you have to mention which is the router for it and which is the header for it. So once you extracted that data, so once you got the extraction result, you will get all the data into the data set. So what you have to do, you have to iterate each data set and you have to append it to the one data table.
See, if you are going to append it, it will combine like a row of one. First 10 rows means the next table 10 rows is coming next to that 10 rows, right? So, but I want to merge it. I want to join the table. I don't want to append the data.
Then once you got the data in the Excel, what we have to do, you have to do the post processing. I'll tell you the post processing way. Like the post processing is not a standard one. So each project will have different kind of post processing. So we'll discuss about end of this session. So once we move to the end of the session, we can be in the part of post processing. At the time, I can tell you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So here, so we are in the slide. Which kind of documents we can read it using document understanding? Like what kind of documents do we have, and what kind of extractors we can use it for which kind of documents. So we have a couple of documents categorized in three ways. One is structured documents, semi-structured documents, and unstructured documents. So structured documents means forms, passport, and licenses and timesheets. So you can able to see here why we are calling that particular thing as a structured documents, because if you see the Aadhaar card, so we have lakhs of people are here. So when you see the lakhs of people Aadhaar card, everyone Aadhaar card structure is same. So everyone can see the name in the same position and age in the same position and address in the same position. So these kind of documents will come under the structured documents, means that particular documents will have kind of structure. So that the name should be here itself, the age should be here itself. These kind of documents will come under the structured documents. And semi-structured documents. Semi-structured documents means invoices, receipts, purchase orders, and medical bills, bank statements, and utility bills. Why we are called these things as a semi-structured? Because if you are buying something from Flipkart, if you are buying TV, so everything will be same. Like when you bought that particular item, and item name and item quantity and item price and total amount and shipping address, everything will be in the same format. But if you are buying the TV with combination of refrigerator or something else, means if you are buying three items, the entire format will be the same, but you are adding the multiple items into that particular document. Means the format is same, but the position may change a bit. Like if you are buying only one item, means only one line item will come. If you are buying 10 to 15 items, means we may get multiple line items, right? So that's why we are calling that particular documents as semi-structured documents. And next one is unstructured documents. Unstructured documents means we don't know, like we don't have any exact idea like what are the information we may get and where we are going to get it. So these all are the documents will come under the unstructured document. So one of the example is mail, I can say. So like if you want to go for a vacation, so if you are applying the leaves, so everyone will apply the leaves in the different format. You have your own format to send a mail. I have my own format to send a mail, right? So we can't judge it like here the name should be there, here the date should be there. We can't judge it. So there is no fixed format for it. So these are the things will come under the unstructured document. So everyone is clear, right? So structured documents, semi-structured documents, and unstructured documents. Yeah. So which all are the areas we can use document understanding? So we know, right, we have multiple domains in RPA industry, like general domain, manufacturing domain, financial services and insurance domain, normal public sectors and HR domain and healthcare domain. So we have multiple domains are circulated in our world. So many things we can do it using document understanding, which are the things they are doing it manually right now. So some of the examples are like in the general, invoice, receipt, purchase order, utility bill, bill of landing, passport, license. So these are the things will come under the structured and semi-structured documents. So we can able to read it. And in the manufacturing, sales order processing, customer parts request, remittance processing. So these are the kind of end-to-end processing. Like once we got the data, so we have to read the data, then we have to enter the data into the ERP machine, then we have to send an acknowledgements to the customer. So this is the kind of involved in the end-to-end process. So some of the examples for financial services. So that are a lot of things you can able to see here. Account payable, account receivable, IRS form, loan application, mortgage processing. So account opening, customer on board, because we know, right? So one of the example is like, so earlier, like when you are going to open an account, so what we used to do, we used to get one form from the bank manager. So what we have to do, the entire data in the standard format, like here we need to enter the name, here we need to enter the age, here we need to enter kind of your PAN card number, here we need to enter Aadhaar card number and your permanent address. And so these are the things we need to enter. So it's entirely kind of standard thing. So once you enter the data, what they used to do it, the bank managers, they used to keep each form and they used to enter into the SBI or HDFC or Axis Bank. They used to enter that same data into the applications. So once you enter the data into the application used to generate for account number for us. So they used to send our account number and password to our Gmail. So these are the things they used to done it manually. So hello.
No problem. Continue. I muted.
Yeah. Thank you, Nisa.
Okay.
So this is the thing they used to do it manually, right? So if you want to do it using document understanding, how we can do it? So once they done something written in the form, we can read the data using document understanding, and we can enter that data into the applications using robotic process automation. Then we can send an acknowledgements to the customer back. This is the account number we generated, and this is the password. So this is the kind of end-to-end process we are doing it without human interaction. So this is a major advantages of document understanding with the combination of RPA. So some of the more examples like employee onboarding, resume screening, HR records processing, healthcare, medical bills, and health records and drug prescriptions. So these are things we can able to read it using document understanding. Lot many use cases are involved with us. So we can use it document understanding and we can make it achieve. So any questions, or shall I go with the next slide? If you have any questions, you can text me. Then I can stop and I can explain that particular issue.
No, I think we are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where we can see document understanding in RPA platform? So that's the major question everyone have. So we can see the document understanding in the phase of build. So here we can able to see, right, build. So in the blue color. So in the build phase, we can able to see the document understanding. So we have 4 phases in RPA, like build, manage, engage, discover. So in these, we can able to see our document understanding in the build. So document understanding will integrate with the AI center, and it will integrate with the action center and studio, robot, and orchestrator. We know these are the major components. We can use it for document understanding. So using document understanding, we can use AI center for creating our own model to read the data or to extract the data. We have default models also. We can use the default models and we can read it. And we have action center. Action center is a kind of human in loop. So if you are extracting something, so the confidence is very low. Instead of 10 fields, you are able to read it only 5 to 6 fields. Means the accuracy is like 50 to 60, right? So at that time, what we have to do, we have to showcase the user. Like we have to showcase our data, like original data, and which are the data we have extracted. We need to showcase to the particular customer, and we need to get the validation. That's the validation will be done in the action center. So these are the integrations we can able to see in the action in the document understanding. Let me go to the next slide. Here we are getting some things like pre-trained models available out of box. Bring your own model. So if you want to create the own model, we can create the own model, or retrain models. So if you have models, we can do the retrain also. So action center for human validation and studio for studio, robot, and orchestrator are a kind of core RPA tools, like core components for RPA. I got a question, like, could you please give some more details and difference between the AI center and action center? So let me tell you. So AI center is a kind of platform where we can store our models. So we have different kinds of models. The pre-built models we have, or if you want to use your own model, we can use it. Or if you want to train the model, which model is available in our AI center, we can use it. So this is about AI center. So AI center is a platform where we can store the models. So these models used to extract the data from invoices or PDFs. So action center is entirely different. So action center should not store anything related to the models. It is used for doing the validation. Validation means if you have extracted the data, if you want to do the validation, so you have to keep one environment to do the validation, right? So action center is a kind of environment where we can do the validation. So we are coming into the document understanding processing. And when you are using the document understanding, we have a couple of phases, like how to overcome one by one phase and how to complete the end-to-end project. So in document understanding, we have a couple of phases like taxonomy, digitization, classification, extraction, validation, and export. So these are the steps are available. So I am going to explain everything like end to end. So here we can able to see first thing is receive. Receive means we need to get the documents. Is it a structured format or semi-structured format or unstructured format? Whichever the document we should read it. And documents variety. So we may get different kinds of languages, different kinds of formats, and handwritten signatures, checkboxes, low quality scans. So these are the things we are taking as an input. So once we got the input, what we have to do, we need to process all the steps from document understanding. So document understanding has a couple of steps, like as I said, taxonomy, digitization, classification, extraction, validation, then export. So these are things I'm going to explain it further in depth. So next thing is act. So which are the data we will get it, from the document understanding, we need to enter the data into the applications, or we can store the data into the Excel file. So this is the high level of document understanding processing. Yeah. So I'm going to showcase how the framework will work here. So how the process, how all the phases will work in the document understanding. So the first step is taxonomy. The taxonomy is a thing where we can create a template. Like if you got one Excel or if you got one invoice. So first of all, you should know which all are the fields you are going to read it from that particular invoice, right? So for that, we need to create one template. Okay, we need to read the purchase date. So it is a kind of date format. And we need to read quantity of that particular items. So it is a integer format. Name of that particular item, it is a string format. If you want to read line items, then we have to create one variable in table format. So what we are doing, we are creating a one template which we can read the values from the invoices. So that's a first step, that is called as a load taxonomy. Next one is digitize. Digitize, why we need to go with the digitization? Means we are getting the data in the format of scanned PDF or native PDF, right? So as per robot understanding, we need to convert the data in the format of string. To convert these scanned data to the string format, we have to use the digitize phase. The digitize phase can use the OCRs. OCR means optical character recognition. So what it will do, it will convert the scanned data to the string format of data. So this is called as a digitization. Then classification. Classification means segregation, I can say. The segregation is like if you are getting multiple PDF, like you have 100 PDF, you are getting one PDF kind of unexpected PDF, like it is not in our project, but we got one PDF. So how we can do the segregation? So how we can tell the customer, end customer, saying that hi team, so this is not in our scope, this is unwanted PDF, we got it in this folder, so please review or something. So we need to send it to the customer, right? So this is the phase we can do it using classification. Classification is a kind of segregation. Using that segregation, we are doing the classification of all the data which we got it in the format of PDF or in the format of images. So once the classification is done, so for the robot we got to know, so okay, these are the files we need to read it, these are the files are in the in scope. Then what we need to do, then we need to extract the data. To extracting the data, we can use different kinds of extractors. So we can use a farm extractor, we can use a regex extractor, or we can use intelligent farm extractor. So multiple kinds of extractors we have. So I'll show you the code. So in that area you will get more idea related to it. Then export. Export is once you extracted the data, we can store the data into the Excel file, or we can store the data into the CSV file, or we can send the data to the any of the ERP application. So this is the high level of framework. So I'm going to showcase which all are the things will come under these particular phases. So once you are done with the classification, so it got validated. So validated means we got to know this is the classification, we got the correct file. Then we need to move it to the extract phase. So if it is not classified, then we need to get the validation from the customer. So customer should decide it. So we need to take this document, or do we need to skip it? So here we can able to see the arrow marks, right? Classify to validate, then validate to train to classify, then it is navigating to the extract. Means if you are getting some unexpected PDF, what we are doing, we are training that particular classification station, and then we are sending it to the classify again. So in the same way, extraction also. So if you are able to extract it, means we can export it. If you are not able to extract it, means what we have to do, we need to enter the data using human interaction, and we need to train that particular data, then we need to export it. So this is the high level of document understanding. So anyone have any questions related to these phases or anything? I can explain it. I can go through the chart for some time. So if you have any questions related to these phases, we can discuss about it.
Yeah, I have one question. I'm Atisha. So can we design this process in both the bots, unattended and attended mode?
Yes, we can do it in the both ways, but we have some limitation for attended and unattended. I'll explain you in the framework itself. So we
Okay.
have document understanding framework in the coding level. So when I'm going to explain it in the coding, you will get some clear idea about it. Why we have attended bot, why we have unattended bot. So what are the differences between it? So you will get some idea about it. I'll explain it. Yeah.
Thank you.
So here are some of the extractors. So we have seen it extract phase, right? So here we have extract phase. So in the extract phase, we can use couple of extractors. So UiPath provided a couple of extractors to use it based on the document. So the extractors are like rule-based extractor, AI-based extractor, and hybrid approach extractors. So rule-based means regex-based extractor and form extractor, and AI-based means artificial intelligence in the part of it, in the part of extractor. So that is farm AI and machine learning extractor. And hybrid approach we can use it both. And if you want to create any of the model, you can create it. So this is the high level of extractors. We have it. I'll show you everything, like how we can use these extractors in the studio. Yeah. So let me open the code. So you will get some idea about it. What is document understanding and how we are going to use that particular document understanding. So this is the pre-built project. We have already pre-built this project. So just I'm going to showcase how we are using the steps. We have mentioned it in the PPT. So here you can able to see all the steps, right? So load taxonomy is the first step, then doing the digitization, then classification. So if we not met with the contents, then we are going to do the validate, like validate classification, then training it again, then moving to the classify, then extracting. So if the contents level is low, then doing the validation, then export. So these are the things as per PPT, we get some idea about it, but how we are implementing it in UiPath. So it is a kind of major question in everyone's mind. So I am going to showcase in the UiPath Studio how we have pre-built that code. So this is the code pre-built using document understanding steps. So let me walk through this particular code. So we have used it log messages for error handling. So loading taxonomy. So this is called as taxonomy. So load taxonomy. So we can able to see load taxonomy. So this is the first step. We are doing it in the load taxonomy here. So load taxonomy means, as I said, it's a kind of creation of template. Which are the fields you are going to read it. You can create the template for it. So we have created the template for it. So here we can able to see the template taxonomy manager. Yeah. So see here. So we got couple of things here. So these are the fields we are going to read it. So this field is text format, and inspector name is text name format, and vehicle license number is text, driving license is text. So this is a kind of thing we are creating the template here. So based on the template, it will read the data. So return 2019. So it's a kind of boolean. So it is a kind of check mark, I can say. So these are the check marks, text. So here we can see the types. We can see much types. So text, number, name, address, set, Boolean, table. So different kinds of values we have. So based on the reading, like based on which kind of values you are going to read, based on that we need to create the type for it. So this is called as a taxonomy manager. Then what we have to do, so this is the thing, just for using the document understanding, we need to use the API key. So I don't have the license now, so that's the reason I'm going to explain it everything in the high level. So we need to get the license for it. So once you got all the files in one folder, so here we are reading the folder, each file will come. So this is the entire loop, so you can able to see. So this is the entire loop we can able to see. So in the looping mechanism, we are going to use these all the steps: this digitization, classification, extract, export, train, validate. These all are the things will come under the looping, but only the load taxonomy will exclude the loop. Why? Because we no need of creating the template for each invoice, right? We have to create the template for only once. Using that template, we have to read the values for the multiple invoices. That's why, except that load taxonomy, all the steps are included in the looping mechanism. So here we are reading the data. So the next step is doing the digitization. So here we are doing the digitization, means we are sending the file path as an input. We are getting an output in the two things. One is doc text and one is doc DOM. So we can call this one as a DOM. So doc text will give the values in the format of string. So DOM will give the values with the specified position. So we will get the position also. So in the digitization, using the OCR is mandatory. So here we are using the omni-page OCR, but we have multiple OCRs. So Google Cloud OCR, Microsoft Azure OCR, so Microsoft OCR, Tesseract OCR, omni-page OCR, UiPath document OCR. So we can read any, we can use any of the OCR based on the accuracy, which OCR is support, which OCR will support more to your documents based on your license. We can go with it. Once the digitization step is done, then doing the classification. See here, you can able to see the classification, right? So let me show you this one. So we are done with the taxonomy. We are done with the digitization. We are in the step of classification. Classification means doing the segregation. So here we are doing the segregation. We have one of the classifier. The classifier is called as a keyword based classifier. So for the classifier, we have input and we have output. Which are the input do we have here? Document object model. So this is the output of digitization station. So you can see this is the output DOM. So the output of DOM and the output of docs text, we are using it into the classification. And we are passing the file and we are passing the taxonomy. The thing is, for the taxonomy, there is no input, only the output is there. But except the taxonomy, for everything, we need to pass the input and output. For the digitization, we have input. Input is a file, output is a DOM and doc text. For the classification, we have input as DOM, input file, doc text, and taxonomy. So the output should be the classification result. So we can do the classification in multiple ways. So one of the classifier is keyword based classifier. So you can use the keyword based classifier, or we can use intelligent keyword based classifier. So let me check the classifier. You can able to see the classifier list. See, we have multiple classifier: keyword based classifier, keyword based classifier, keyword based classifier trainer, machine learning classifier trainer. So these are the things we can use it here. So then present classification station. So here we are doing some validation for it. So we are done with the, if the confidence level is less, then what we have to do, we need to train the classifier. So as we discussed here, So if the classify is low, then what we have to do, we need to do the validation and we need to do the train, right? So these are the steps are involved here. So classification and present validation, then doing the train classifier. So once the classification is done, then what we are going to do, we are doing the extraction. See, this is the extraction. So in the extractors, as we discussed, extractor will be in the multiple things. So like regex based extractor, form extractor, or array extractor. So see, so these are all things we have. So in this example, we have used form extractor and regex extractor. So if you want to use any of the extractor, we can use it here. So let me type it as an extractor and I can show you like which all are the extractors do we have. Yeah, so you can see form extractor, intelligent form extractor, machine learning extractor, lot many extractors we have. Then validation. So the validation is like whichever the data you have extracted it, you want to know is the data extracted is correct or not, right? So for that purpose, we can use a validation station. Then export. Here training the extractor. So if the confidence level is low, then we are training it. Then export. So we are exporting the data into the Excel file. So this is the high level of using the document understanding using multiple steps. Like we have covered all the steps here, and we have covered these all the steps in coding level. So I will share this code in the GitHub. End of this session, the Nisar will share this code in the GitHub, so we can download and you can refer it. So this is related to the document understanding and how we are implementing these steps. Any doubts or anything do I need to specific?
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes, just a second, Mahashankari. So we'll take the questions around the end. We'll take the questions now also, Pradeep. Just a quick announcement for all the participants. So we have a quiz around the end of this session, where if you win the quiz, you get a chance to win UiPath t-shirt. So that's going to be great. And so if you have any questions, you can post in chat or you can unmute now. You can ask Pradeep related to the demo what Pradeep has given. And yes, about the recording, everyone will get the recording around the end of the session. In the same link where you have registered, you will get to see the video recording of it. Thank you. Please continue, Marsha.
Yeah, shall I ask the question?
Yes, please.
So I have doubt in specific of classification. So
Okay.
my scenario is I have one PDF file which contains 10 different invoice details, which means 10 different invoice file. So
Okay.
each template will differ. So if I want to, for taxonomy, I'll load the, I'll create the taxonomy for all the 10 invoice files. So in the classification, I'll create template for all the 10 invoice. Okay. So if I want to get the third invoice details alone, so how can I get the details using that single invoice file contains, single PDF file contains all the 10 invoice file? How the bot identify whether I'm going to extract the details of third invoice?
Yeah. So the thing is here, so the first thing, before going to do the classification, we have to do some pre-processing for it. Pre-processing means if you have the document of 10 pages, right?
Yes.
So we need to do the classification of each page. Basically, how the document understanding will work, it won't do the classification for the document. It will do the classification for the page wise. So it will think that this page is for A page, this is B region page, this is C region page, this is D region page. So based on the page, it will navigate to the extractor. So extractors will work in the way of switch statement, I can say. So we know, right, how the switch statement will work. Based on the input, it will navigate to that particular use case. So in the same way, when you are reading the classification, before that we have to do the pre-processing. The pre-processing should be split all the pages. Each page should come under the classification station. If it is able to do the classification, it will push it to the extraction with the switch state. If it is not able to do the classification, what it will do, it will raise a kind of validate to the customer. So he has to mention it. Okay, this is a new region file. So these are the keywords we need to identify for the next time, and we need to do the train for it. So based on the looping mechanism will work. So if you are getting new pages, we have to do the validation and we need to do the train for it. So if you are doing the multiple trains, it will get more contents. From the next time, it will pick that file and it will directly extract the data in the extractor phase.
Okay. So before that, before classifying, you have to split the invoice PDF file for different invoices.
Yes. So that is called as pre-processing. So the pre-processing should be the major thing when you are dealing with the multiple pages. So
Okay.
it should be done.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
So as of now, what we have covered is, so we have covered everything about document understanding, and we have covered everything about different kinds of steps, like what kind of steps available, and how we are going to read the steps, and how we are implementing that steps in UiPath Studio. So we got some idea about it. So, but the thing is, in UiPath, we have REFramework, right? So we have sequence, we have flowchart, we have REFramework. So what is the use of REFramework? Anyone can tell it? Like we have sequence, we can implement it. We have flowchart, we can implement it. Then what is the use of REFramework? Why we need to use REFramework? Any idea? Anyone can tell it. Anyone can do the unmute and anyone can express it. Why we need to go with the REFramework instead of sequence or instead of flowchart?
Yeah, it has better exception handling, and we can iterate one data at a time and process it, because it's working based on the transactional process. So we can use it.
Yeah, of course, it's a kind of good answer, I can say. So the thing is here, so why we need to go with the REFramework means, so if you are going to use sequence or flowchart, we have to implement everything. Like we have to read the config data, and we have to read the credential from assets, or we have to read it from the config file, and we have to maintain the log messages, and we have to keep all the standards like try-catch mechanism and the retry scopes. And if you want to make exception handling, you have to keep system exception, business exception, and whichever the applications you have opened it, you have to close that applications. And the code should be robust, using readability and enhanceability. And if you want to use kind of annotations, comments, you have to make it everything by your own, right? But REFramework is a template with all the best practices. We can get all the best practices, we can get all the data. Just we need to use that particular template based on our project. That's it. So whichever the things we need to do it from our project end, we need to use that framework and we need to write the coding for it and we can use it. So it's a major advantage for REFramework. So everyone gets some doubt about it. Why we are discussing about document understanding, why we move to the REFramework and sequences or flowchart. Here the link is, we have one of the framework that is called as a document understanding framework. So let me show you the document understanding framework. So I am going to open UiPath. So I'm going to use, I'm going to check any templates. So in the templates, we can able to see document understanding process. So this is a kind of template we have it. Let me open the template and let me see. So what are the things do we have here? So just I'm opening that document understanding framework. Yeah, so we can able to see the document understanding framework. Let me go through the main thing, main workflow. So when you're using this template, we can able to see lot much of code. So here you can able to see lot much of code, right? So it is like a REFramework. So we can use this template and we can use it for our project. So why we need to use this document understanding framework means, as we said, so it is exception handled, and we can read the data from config file, and which are the steps we have mentioned it. So these are the steps we have mentioned it. These are the steps are pre-built here. And for the login mechanisms, we have logs, annotations, comments. For the best practices purpose, we have try catches, we have dynamic delays. And if you want to go with the readability, it's pretty much good. And if you want to do the enhancement, it's good. And we got one question in the earlier of this session. Can we use it for attended and unattended? So yes, of course, this template will work for action center as unattended mode and attended mode. So we can use this template for the both cases. So it's a kind of pre-built framework. We can use it for everything. So that's the reason I am recommended. So if anyone wants to do the projects in document understanding, please refer document understanding framework and go through the each phase and understand it. It's a kind of pretty much easy, and we can use it for best practice purpose. We can create one project using a robust way. So let me go through the PPTs again. Yeah. So we have opened it document understanding framework, right? So what is the use of document understanding framework? So here we have major features. So here we can able to see the major key features. So easy to get new document understanding project started. So directly we can start it. So if someone is going to start the document understanding project, new one, so they will get some doubt like I don't know what kind of classifiers I can use, what kind of extractors I can use. Uh, Someone will get some kind of confusion, like which phase will come first, which phase will come next, like taxonomy, digitization. Then what I need to do, how we can do the classification, how we can do the train of classification, how we can interact with the action center, how we can interact with the AI center. So lot many questions will in be the mind. So for that we can use refer this document framework. Everything will be in the stable here. Everything we can see and we can use it. And this project is suitable for all the projects, like scalable projects and for demos. If you want to give any demos or any large projects, we can use it. And this is a kind of production ready framework. So we have logging mechanisms, we have exception, and we have retry mechanism, everything. And a common architecture for both attended and unattended. And this framework, we can use it for the development, testing, deployment, debugging, and scaling much easier. So, and this framework, we can use it for long running workflows also. So these many key features we have it. So if you have these many keywords, no need of building the code again. So it's a waste of time for us. So we have to we can use this framework and we can go with that particular implementation. So, but when you are using the document understanding framework, we have a couple of limitations. So when you are going to use the framework, we need to know the limitations. The limitations are like we should use the persistent activities. So a couple of persistent activities available in document understanding framework. So that particular activities should be available in the main. So these are the activity name. So wait for classification or validation action and resume. So these two activities should be in the main. Means we should not implement this code in any other workflow and we should not invoke it. This code should be in the main itself. And if you are going to use the orchestrator queues, the queues should be 2020.10.8 version or any major version. And whichever the looping mechanism you are going to use it here, we should not use the for each. We should go with the parallel for each activity. And we should not go with the delay activities. because if you are using the delay activities in our document understanding framework, what it will happen? So it will suspend that particular process, means it will stop the process in that particular area and it won't do the resume. So, and we can use the these are the points we have, like resume, and these are the things, and which are the variables we are using it in the document understanding framework. All the variables should be serializable. We can use that thing in the serializable mode, and there is no limit for reading the data. Yeah. So here is the flow. So these are the flow they have implemented in DU framework. So we got one question, like before doing the digitization step, we are doing the pre-digitization processing. Pre-digitization processing means splitting the PDF into the multiple pages. Then doing the digitization, then classification is successful. Then classifier feedback. If it is not successful, then human validation. Then if the human validation is done, then the classifier feedback, then extraction. So if the extraction is done, then there is no human validation. If there is no, then it is navigating to the human validation and it's doing a human validation. Then extracting the data. So once you extracted the data, we are doing the post processing. The post processing is like once you got the data in the Excel format, we have to do some business rules, right? Like these rows should contain only these digits. These kind of post processing we can do it. Then export the data. Then these are other things. Again, post export processing, like merging the exports. So as we have discussed in the first point, like merging the exports. So this entire flow, end-to-end flow, implemented in DU framework. So we can use the DU framework, and we can use these all other steps. So let me go back to the DU framework and let me explain. Yeah. So this is the DU framework. So first of all, I want to explain which all are the things are available in DU framework. So let me go to the project. So we can able to see action center and attended bot. So this is the attended bot and this is the unattended bot. So if you want to use attended bot, just you have to click on the attended bot and you need to click on the set as a main and go to the settings, and we need to disable support persistent. So these are the things you have to do if you want to run it in the attended mode. If you want to do it in the unattended mode, you have to click on the action center. You have to make this one as a main. Let me click on it. So I could let me change the verse. Let me add the persistent. We are changing the set as a main. So when you are using the action center, we have to keep that persistent as enable. So this is the one we have to do it. So except that there is no much changes to run it. So we have couple of XAML files are available here. Let me open the XAML files. See. So we have a couple of XAML files are available here. So I'll explain each XAML file. So first XAML file is read config. So we know in REFramework also we have read config. So it is used to read the data from config file. But one thing here, we can't read the asset values. So we can read the asset values from the initialize process. So in the initialize process, we can initialize the applications and we can read the assets. And if you want to do the any pre-processing, the pre-processing should be done in the initialize process. Then get transaction item. So it will send each item to the get digitize. So digitize section, using any of the OCR, we are doing the digitize. Classification, this workflow will do the classification like segregation. So this is a kind of validation. So we need to make the human, we need to make the logic for it, because robot don't know about it. So if you have done the classification, robot doesn't know about it. So is it classified or not? We need to make some condition for it. So by default, it is false. So every time it will navigate to the human, it will call the validation. So if you have any condition, you can make the condition and you can make the classification is true. Then train classifier, extract, extraction, business rule, and train classifier, export, end process. These are the phases we have seen it. So end process. So which are the applications we have opened it. You have to close that particular thing, and abort process. Like if you are facing an issue, then you can abort the entire process. And if you are getting exception, so we can handle the exception as these YAML file. So these are the things we have here. So we can go through the each YAML file and we can go through it. Yeah. So let me open the code. Let me show the code. So here reading the config data. So here all the steps will come. So which are the steps we have mentioned it here. So from here, from pre-digitization processing to post export, we will get everything here. So the first step is initialization. So when you are doing the initialization, we can do the pre-processing and we can initialize it. We are reading all the values here. And if you want to do any pre-processing, we can do it. And getting the each item, then doing the digitization. See here, we are doing the digitization. Here we are doing the digitization. Then here we are using the retry scope. You got one question here. So why we are using the retry scope only for digitization? Why can't we use retry scope for entire project? Because here each step will have a licensing. Like if you are doing the digitization means it's a kind of licensing part. You are using each page and you are paying the amount for the UiPath. So end of the day, end of the process, you got an exception. So if you are going to do the entire process for the retry, means it is doing the digitization for the same page again. It's a kind of cost burden for us, right? So that's the reason they have they made it retry scope for individual steps. So it's a kind of a major best practice, I can say. It's a major difference when you are comparing with the REFramework. So in the same way, we have classification result, rules check. Here we need to write the rule. So based on the rule, it will give true or false. So here we need to write the custom rules. So because each project will have some custom rules. Then validation and extracting. Here we are reading the each data, process each document. So we are validating the data and we are extracting the data using different kinds of extractor. So we have multiple extractors. So we can use any of the extractors, like this is a regex extractor, this is a palm extractor, and this is the ML extractor. Just what we have to do, we need to change the endpoint of our endpoint. We need to use the our endpoint, our API key. So it's a kind of configuration change. We can do it. So once the extraction is done, extraction rules check. Then if the confidence level is low, then we are sending the data to the action center. Then we are sending the data to the validation station, then export the data. So we got attended and unattended, right? So where we can change this attended and unattended means we can change this attended and unattended in the validation station here itself. So for the attended bot, it will use the present validation station. For the unattended bot, it will use the action center. So that's the major change for both. This is the entire framework about DU framework. So once you got the data, so we are doing the end process for it, and here we are doing the post processing. So post processing means once we got the data, we have to do some post processing, right? So here we can do the post processing. So this is the high level of DU framework. And one more point I want to add. So how this DU framework will work in the action center? How we can use it with the integration of action center? So the major thing is when you are comparing with the RE framework will start and it will process each item from the queue, right? Each item from the queue, and it will start only one job. But in the DU framework, what it will happen for the each invoice, it will generate one job. Means if you have 100 invoices, what it will do, it will generate 100 jobs in the orchestrator. So there is no dependency between each job. So once the human validation is done, it will resume that particular job. So there is no dependency also. So it's a kind of major difference when you are comparing with the RE framework. So these are the things I can say why we need to go with the DU framework, and why, what are the basic, what are the major components do we have here, major advantages do we have here. So the next slide is end-to-end business process. So that's what, how will it generate one job for one file. So we will get to know for each job it will generate one job, and it will create, it will, once it is success that particular job, it will change the status of that particular job itself. So for each target file it will create one job, so there is no dependency. So in this slide I am going to explain about licensing part. So the digitization, UiPath document understanding OCR and any of the OCRs are free, and third-party OCRs are paid. Classification station, keyword-based keyword classifier, you can use it for free, and intelligent OCR and ML extractors are paid. So here you can able to see it. Regex-based extractor is free, and data manager is free, except that remaining things are paid. And validation framework, so these are the free things we have it. So I'm good with the entire document understanding basics, and why we have to go with, which all are the steps we have available in document understanding, and why we need to go with the DU framework, and what are the major advantages when you are going to use with the DU framework, and what about the licensing cost about DU framework. So these are things I have covered it. Yeah, Nisarg, do you want to add any points here?
No, Pradeep, thank you so much for walking us through the document understanding within 1 hour, and that was really absolutely perfect. Thank you so much again. So just wanted to tell all of you about a community part a little bit here. So the current slide which Pradeep is on, so we have our own UiPath community where, as you have joined this session, you can join any session all across the globe, wherever the virtual sessions are there. And at the same time, you can start and download a community edition and start with the document understanding if you want to learn on your own. It's available for community as well, right?
So Pradeep, I have one query regarding the document understanding.
Okay, Amit. So we'll take the queries. Can we proceed with the quiz once, so we can close that, and then we can start with the queries, and we can keep the session open.
Sure.
Sounds good. Okay, perfect. So Pradeep, let me know if I can share my screen. And
Yes, please, Nisar.
okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, all of you have to do is just one thing that you have to. Let me continue with the. Okay. Let me know once you're able to see my screen. Where is Zoom? Where is Zoom? Okay.
Yeah, we are able to.
Can you guys see my screen? Perfect.
Yes,
all of you have to do is just one thing, that just log into www.menti.com and enter this code, which is 1284, or I will give you the link in the chat. This is the link, and this is the code. Just join us here. All you have to do is just go to www.menti.com and join us here with this code. So we will have a short quiz of 4 questions only.
Okay. I can also participate, right, Nisar?
No, you can't.
I can participate with some shadow name.
Yeah, you can do that, but see, if I found out that you are the winner, then no. Okay, guys, you have to enter your correct name Otherwise, we won't be able to understand who's the winner, and I will give the t-shirt to myself. That has happened sometimes. Okay, just joking. So I see we have 56 participants in the room, and we have on Menti almost 43, 44. I'll wait for another 1 minute and then I'll start with the Menti quiz. So there are only 4 questions overall. Okay, so let's get started. So here's the quiz. So the quiz is like you have to answer fast as possible. The fastest answer will be the winner. Okay, and the moment I enter on your screen, wherever you have logged in, you will see the first question. You have to select the correct answer, and then we will see on the scoreboard who is the fastest, and so on. The things will go on. Okay, so I'll start with the first question, and here's your first question. Which of the following is not an example of document understanding use case? Is it invoice processing? Is it scan receipt validation or verification? Or is it Excel file comparison? Not an example of document understanding use case. Okay, so 43 people have selected the correct answer out of 45, and that's great. So only 2 people selected scan receipt validation. So let me tell you, in document understanding models, we also have a model for receipts. Receipt is nothing but a document. Sometimes you want to extract data from scan receipts for verification of the purpose. Perfect. Let's see who was the fastest one to answer this one. So the fastest one is Ashok Karale. Okay.
Who is
Now,
this?
guys,
12, 84, 93, and 93.5.
I don't know, but
I
he
think
has copied the code of the Menti. No problem. That's fine. Okay. If he wins, I get to keep the t-shirt. Okay. So Ashok is the fastest. Guys, you can still beat him in the next 3 questions. So let's jump on to the second question. That is also going to be a very insightful question. If you have listened to Pradeep's session very carefully, you might understand the second question as well. And here you go for the second question. Question number 2, 1, 2, 3, and start. Which of the following is not a component of document understanding framework? Not a component. Okay, Pradeep, I think you have been pretty good in delivering sessions, man. 40 people got the correct answer. Okay, so 2 people who selected
this is the
loading
encouragement for me.
Yeah, that's actually a good number, So 2 people actually selected loading taxonomy. Loading taxonomy is the first step of document understanding framework, and extraction is a part of almost second last step of document understanding framework. But yes, to read the document, the step is there. It is called as digitized document, right? Remember, read document is not a component. The component name is digitized document. And that's great. Let's see who was the fastest one to answer this question. Let's see. And we have, I think Ashok is still leading, is it? No. Ashok is still the fastest one. Ashok, you have some pretty good internet, man. Okay. Now we have Abdullah as well on the second number, and third number Sagar is still there. Let's see, guys, you can still completely flip the leaderboard with the third question. And here you go for the third question. Okay. And the third question is, can we use document understanding without AI Center? Yes.
They are ready with the answer before that options are coming.
That's what I'm thinking. Can we use DU without AI Center? Yes, no? Okay, so again 38 correct answers, but still 7 people gave wrong answer. So just to highlight on this one, Pradeep, you want to say something?
Yes. So as we discussed, right, we have 2 types, attended and unattended. So when you are using the unattended bot, the AI center is mandatory. But if you are going with the attended bot, attended automation with DU framework, there is no use of AI center.
Also, for unattended bots, if your structure of the document is fixed, you do not need to buy AI center license actually. But
Yeah,
if
sorry. I thought action
Yeah.
center. Sorry.
No,
So the AI center is related to the models. So if the entire form is structured itself, like if you want to read structured PDF or semi-structured PDF,
yeah,
there is no use of models. There is no use of going with the models, right?
yes,
So there is no use of going with the intelligent extractor or intelligent form extractor. We can go with the regex or something. Yeah.
exactly. Then let's see who was the fastest one to answer this question. Okay, Sagar was the fastest, but Ashok is still leading the board. Guys, you can't beat Ashok. Ashok, you have some kind of a hack. I don't know. I think I have to check my Menti account has been hacked or not. Okay. And let's go to the last question. Sagar, you have a chance to beat Ashok. Abdullah, you also have a chance to beat Ashok. Maybe somebody else might be the winner. The last question is going to be a little bit tricky. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, and the last question of the day. Okay, the question number 4 is, which UiPath product we use for human in loop validation? Action Center, AI Center, or UiPath Task Manager? So we have a human in loop validation here. Which product are we using to do that human in loop validation? And 30 people have given the correct answer. AI Center is the artificial intelligence, and for human in loop, we have Action Center. Okay, so Action Center, as Pradeep mentioned, it is used to validate the data that is being extracted by the document understanding. So you can recorrect the data or just validate it and approve it. And task mining is a whole different product which comes under the part of discovery products. So 30 people actually gave the correct answer. Let's see who gave the correct answer. If Akshay has given the wrong answer, then let's see who is the winner. Okay, and the winner is oh my god. And moment the game was completely changed and Sagar is the winner now.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sagar. Sagar, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, Sagar, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Nisar. Thank you, Pradeep.
Perfect.
You should
Sagar,
give
please.
your shed to.
Yeah. Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
I didn't.
I was saying, please send me your email ID in the personal chat, and
Okay.
I will send you the coupon for the t-shirt, and we want you to post this one.
Yeah, and to add on to this, I also attended your previous automation Pathshala, and even there I won a t-shirt. Thank
Yeah,
you.
amazing. Got it. Perfect. Okay, and Akshay, bad luck, man. And moment, I was creating a competition, but yeah, it is a little bit of a sad to see this, but no problem. So congratulations, Akshay. Also, you also win a t-shirt now. So I will give Akshay also a t-shirt. And who was it? Akshay or Ashok?
Ashok.
Karade, right?
Ashok.
Yeah, Ashok. So I'll give t-shirt to Ashok also. Ashok and Sagar, you both guys are winners. Please send me your email IDs in private chat. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and congrats Ashok as well. So guys, coming back to giving the session back to Pradeep. Now you guys have open platform for questions to Pradeep. I'll be on mute. And Pradeep, please, the platform is yours. And if people want to, now leave the meeting, you are free to leave the meeting. If you want to stay back and ask any questions to Pradeep, you can. You will get the recording on the same page on the community channel where you registered, when you logged in. You will get the complete recording of the today's session, and also the code. We will try to keep it, the link of the code also on the same page. Thank you again. And Ashok and Sagar, please send me your email IDs. Thank you. The stage is yours, Pradeep.
Yes, yes, sir. Any questions related to the DU framework or document understanding phases?
Yeah, Pradeep. So for related to the action center, I have one query. So suppose I am having 10 transaction in my queue. Okay. My first transaction went for the validation is in action center, and someone has validated the same. But somehow my sixth transaction, the manager and the manager is the manager shift is ended. Okay, but somehow the sixth transaction went to the action center. So what will happen after that? The bot will stuck, or it will sit idle, or will it move to the next transaction automatically?
Yeah. So it's a kind of great question, I can say. So the thing is here, when you are using the action center, so when we are raising the actions to the action center, there is no limitations to do the validation from the user end. So if you want to do the validation only for your manager, he can do it. But instead of him, if you want to do it, means you can do it. Like there is no limitation. So only he has to do the validation. So in the meantime, like if he is not available for next 24 hours, so what will happen? You have 100 target files. So what you have to do? Only one job will be stuck in that particular point. Other jobs, other all the jobs will work, and other all the jobs will complete. Only that particular job will be in the suspended mode. When he is back, he can do the validation and he can complete that particular only one job. So except that all the jobs will work perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah. So any questions or shall we close the session?
I have posted my question in chat.
Sorry, I didn't. Is retraining happening in real time? Yes, of course. So whichever data we got extracted, so based on that data, we can do the retry. So that retry mechanism will work. For that retry mechanism, the first thing is we need to take the model which is retrainable. So you should not take the model which is non-retrainable. You should take the model as retrainable, and you should send the data which type of data it should be acceptable. That model should accept the data in the specific format, right? So we have to generate that particular specific format of data, and we have to send that data to the retrainable model. So based on your data, it will do the retrain mechanism. It will do the retrainable, and it will give more accuracy for the next further steps.
Pradeep, I have one question regarding licensing.
Yeah.
If I using one PDF file which contains 5 pages, but the only 2 pages has data, 3 pages is empty. So even though it's empty, the bot will take the count.
The thing is, you have empty pages means you are not going with the extraction phase, right? So the
Yes.
extraction phase is a kind of licensing piece. Before that extraction, we have a couple of phases like digitization and we have classification. So in the digitization, you can skip it with the no data. In the classification station, you can segregate it. In these 2 steps, we can do some filtering. So once the filtering is done, whichever the data we got it, whichever the classified PDFs, we can send it to the extractor. So based on that, the licensing piece will work.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, team. Nisa, do you have any points?
Pradeep,
No,
can I
let's
add
close the
one
session.
question? Pradeep, can I add one last question?